Hello everyone, I am Akhil Rajaratnam and welcome to today's daily news analysis. So, today's session, let's start with a very wonderful quote. It's not about ideas, it's about making ideas happen. So, this is a very wonderful quote that reminds us that it's not enough to just think of great ideas. What truly matters is taking action to bring those ideas to life. So, let's keep this in mind as we dive into today's class and work towards making ideas a reality. Okay, all right. So, with that quote, let's move on to today's key headlines. So, these are the four topics which I have taken for today's discussion. The first one is related to the Modi Trump meeting. So, this is actually I've compiled many of these articles which are there from both Hindu as well as Indian Express. So, we'll be discussing what are the key takeaways from the meeting between Modi and Trump. Okay, covering diplomatic ties will be there, and economic discussions will also be there. Okay, second article is regarding Modi and Rahul set to meet on Monday to choose the next CEC Chief Election Commissioners. Okay, so this is regarding the selection committee meeting. Okay, so that will be deciding who will be the next Chief Election Commissioner. Okay, third one is related to a statement by Vice President. So he is actually questioning. He has raised concerns about the Chief Justice involvement on the executive appointments in India. Okay, so that's another important issue. And finally, we have dealing with China's weaponization of e-supply chain. This is related to a recent issue which happened related to the e-supply chain of China. So we'll be discussing what is this concept of weaponization of China, and there is another concept is also like China plus one policy. Okay, so we'll be discussing all these things. Okay, all right. So this is actually a program which we are launching. So this is actually the 110-day study plan. Okay, so here you can download the our Narayana AS app from this particular QR code. There you will be getting this 110 days self-study planner. So here we have devised how you have to prepare yourself for this 2025 prelims examination. So based on this schedule you are preparing, your scheduling will become much more easier. Okay. All right. Another important program, two important programs which we are launching is one is the 1 year prelims cum mains integrated course. So that will be for the student aspirants who are in the 2026 examination. Another one will be the 2 year program. 2 year program for the students who are aiming the 2027 civil services examination. Okay. All right. So what are the of our specialties? One is will be offering 800 plus hours of general studies and CSAT classes. It will be completely online, and also we will be having 200 plus hours of current affairs class will also be there. We have already created a micro schedule to make sure that you're getting the proper syllabus, and also we'll be having expert faculty for all the subjects, and also obviously regular testing is also very much important in your preparation. So obviously we have created tests for both prelims as well as mains examination. Okay, all right. So these are our programs. Moving on to first topic. Okay, first topic is related to the recent 2 days back Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Donald Trump, so they convened a meeting, okay, related to India US bilateral relations. So in many areas they have touched many areas, like for example economic areas were there, in strategic area was there, defense sector was there, technological collaboration, for example like the new AI things are coming. So related that and all, many important policies have been, many important decisions have been taken. Okay, so this will be coming under the India US relation, especially for the mains examination. India and developed nation, India's interaction with the developed nation. Okay, so here mostly we'll be discussing regarding the key outcomes of the particular meet. Okay, see a PYQ in this context. What introduced friction into the ties between India and the United States is that Washington is still unable to find for India position in its global strategy which would satisfy India's national self-esteem. This was asked in 2019. Okay, all right. So these kind of questions can be asked. All right. So we'll start with the defense ties itself. Okay, defense as well as security cooperation. Many agreements has been made related to that. So the major highlight of this particular agreement, especially in this defense, is like India and US have agreed to continue the defense partnership for another 10 years. Okay, you might be knowing that India is having, already India has procured many of these weapons as well as many of these defense equipments from US. We have ties with Russia also, but still we have a 10-year defense partnership with US. So now they have renewed it. India and US have renewed this for another 10 years. Okay, so this means they will be working very closely. together in various military areas. There will be joint protection. It can be joint protection. Here itself, we can see that I will be explaining all these things. So, joint protection will be there. Military sales will be there. Interoperability between these forces will be there. Intelligence sharing will be there. Not just for like army alone, but for all sectors like army, navy, as well as air force, and even space and cyberspace is also considered this time. Okay. All right. So these are the some of the important defense acquisitions which have happened in this year uh, during this particular meeting. So India will procure advanced US defense technologies, and it will be including F-35 stealth fighter jets. F-35 stealth fighter jets. So stealth means what? These are advanced fighter jets, and it won't be dictated by the enemy's radar. Okay, won't be dictated by the enemy's radar. So that's why known as stealth fighter jets. Long-term procurement, because we have a long-term vision regarding this, and these will be procured not just in a single go, but it will be in a goods, and it will be acquired in an extended period. Okay, so that is this F-35 stealth fighter jets. Another one is a Javelin anti-tank guided missile. So this will be a co-production. Both India as well as US will be part of the production. So that is the advantage of this Javelin anti-tank guided missile. So this is used to destroy tanks. Okay, so that is the purpose. Another one is Striker infantry combat vehicle. So this will be manufactured in India. So this will be part of the Make in India project. This will be part of the Make in India project. Okay, so one is a procurement, another one is a co-production, another one is a completely manufactured in India. So we have different areas. We have cooperation will be there. So this Striker infantry combat, it's actually an armored vehicle that is mostly used for transporting soldiers safely to the battlefield. So that is the purpose of this. Okay, next one is P8 and P8I maritime patrol aircraft. From the name itself, it is understood what is it. It is used by the Navy to monitor the oceans, as well as dictating the, especially submarines and all will be dictated by this P8I maritime patrol aircraft. Okay, all right. Next one is CH-47 Chinook and AH-64E Apache helicopters. Again, this Chinook as well as Apache is also very much crucial for Indian military. So again, this will also be for transporting troops as well as both attacking the target. Okay, so that will be this purpose. Another one, MH-60R Seahawk helicopters. Again, this will be for the naval defense. It will be used by the Navy. Okay, Navy helicopters will be there. And after that, we have the Harpoon anti-ship missiles, M70s, M777 Housters, and MK70Bs. Okay, so this will also be part of India's defense system, and that will be a collaboration with US. Okay, all right. Another important area in which we are cooperating is this ASIA, Autonomous Systems Industry Alliance. Autonomous Systems Industry Alliance. So basically, this is actually something, a new initiative that will be focusing on AI driven unmanned defense system. AI driven unmanned. Now also we have AI driven unmanned system. For example, drones are there. Okay, drones are part of this. Even robotic systems are there. All these things are part of this AI initiative in defense. Okay, so again, this will be exclusively focusing on the AI driven unmanned defense system. Mostly it will be co-development, both from with both India as well as US. So as of now in this plan, we are focusing on undersea drones for maritime surveillance, and also more enhanced cooperation in the autonomous weapon systems, and even in the cyber warfare area also you might be using this. Another key area in the security is the Indo-Pacific security and counter-terrorism operation. Indo-Pacific security and counter-terrorism operation. So both India as well as US, they are very much interested in this Indo-Pacific area, and obviously we need to counter one particular country, that is China. China is having a lot of influence in this particular Indo-Pacific region. So it is essential for both India as well as US to counter this Chinese influence in this Indo-Pacific region. For that, we already have a very important group, that is a Quad is there. Okay, so India is there, US is there, and two more countries are there. One is Japan as well as Australia is also part of the Quad. Okay, so that, and also India has promised, US has promised India that they will be they have reaffirmed their support for India's border security, especially in this Chinese border. Okay. Another important area is this counter-terrorism. Both India as well as US, these are two countries which are very much, very much under threat of this terrorism. So especially this 2008 Mumbai attacks, there is a suspect Tahaur Rana or Coleman Headley. So regarding the extradition of this Tahaur Rana, US will be helping India. Okay, so that is also very important part of this. So other than, so these are in the defense as well as security areas. Other than this, we are again focusing on the trade ties, which is very important, trade ties. Okay, so regarding this trade as well as economic aspect, there are also many agreements we signed. Very important agreement is a mission 500. Very important agreement is a mission 500. Okay, very important trade deal which has been signed. So what is the purpose of this is, we will be doubling bilateral trade to $500 billion by 2023. Okay, doubling the bilateral trade between India and US by 2030. Okay, doubling the bilateral trade to now it is from present it will be doubled. So now it will be around 500 billion dollars. Okay, so that is a purpose that will be done by 2030. It's a very positive thing regarding India US relation. Okay, also they are planning to finalize a BTA. They are planning to finalize a BTA, bilateral trade agreement. So that will be finalized by the fall of 2025. This year itself that will be finalized. So that's also another important area. Okay, but there are issues between India and US in this trade front, that is mainly regarding the tariffs. Okay, mainly regarding tariffs. Both India as well as US are having concerns. US concern is like India is having high tariffs. India is having high tariffs, especially on the US automobiles. Especially on the US automobiles, India is having a very high tariff. That's one of the major concerns which US has raised. India, as of now, India is taxing around 70%. 70% tax, 70% taxation is done in, so taxation is done on American cars. Okay, and also India has agreed. So India understood, okay, this is actually a problem. So India has agreed to lower the tariffs on some of the American products, and again cars will also be part of that. As of now, the products are like one, agricultural goods, medical devices. These are areas where agricultural goods, okay, medical devices. And also one more thing where the tariffs has been heavily slashed from 150 to 100, that is bourbon whiskey. In bourbon whiskey, the tax has been reduced from 150 percentage to 100 percentage. Okay, all right. Another important thing is, it will be encouraging bilateral investments between both the countries. So Indian companies have, as of now, Indian companies have invested more than 7.3 billion in the US. And again, this is also very important employment opportunity also. It has created many, around 3,000 plus jobs also they have created. So now the US has welcomed more more investments in India's manufacturing sector. Okay, so that's also one of the key areas of cooperation. Okay, all right. Moving on to the energy and critical minerals partnership. Energy and critical minerals partnership. So here also, US is planning to expansion of this US energy exports. So India will be buying more oil and gas from US. One area, obviously India is a consumer country, so India will be buying more oil and gas. That will be um, that India will be buying more oil and gas from the US. So again, this is all, here also a very huge increase will be then. As of now, we are having around 15 billion. As of now, we are having around $15 billion. Okay, from here we are actually planning to increase it to $25 billion. So that's also very huge spike in this area. Okay, earlier we were planning for more renewable energy and we'll be cutting this oil and gas, but still, you know, what is a strategy of Trump regarding this? So like that way, we are also planning to buy more oil. And also US, we will be strengthening the civil nuclear cooperation. We will be strengthening the civil nuclear cooperation between India as well as US. So that is will be under 123 civil nuclear agreement. 123 civil nuclear agreement. So in this, based on this 123 civil nuclear agreement, US will be assisting India in building more nuclear reactors and even providing access to this nuclear fuel. We need both. Okay, nuclear fuel as well as technology is also very much important. Okay, so this is something which is important from the prelims point of view and 123 agreement. So this is actually a political agreement between US and any other country for peaceful nuclear cooperation, not for military purpose, but for the peaceful nuclear purpose. US as well as any other country will be doing this. Okay, so these are why this name 123, because US is having an act known as US Atomic Energy Act of 1954. US Atomic Energy Act of 1954. So in that section 123, section 123 is regarding the civil nuclear agreement with other countries. Okay, so that's why um, this is known as 123 civil nuclear agreement. Okay, another area is strategic mineral recovery initiative. Strategic mineral recovery initiative. India, we have something known as critical minerals. We have already discussed this regarding this critical minerals in many other DNA sessions. So critical minerals means something which is very much important for the economic development of that country, or maybe even for the defense of that particular country. Okay, so here strategic mineral recovery initiative means mostly regarding critical minerals only. And in critical minerals also, something which is very much important is this rare earth elements. It's regarding the rare earth elements. Okay, so rare earth elements, regarding rare earth elements, even other than that, rare earth, copper will be there, lithium will be there. So all these things are very much essential for, especially in this electronics industry and even for making the defense equipment. So here what we'll be doing, we will cooperate with US for development, US for both exploration as well as acquirement of this critical minerals. As of now, we are heavily relying on the China for developing this critical minerals, or maybe the strategic minerals. So now we'll have more cooperation with US regarding this. Okay, so that's also another important point. Next one, technology and innovation. Technology and innovation. So now we are launching something known as a India US Trust Initiative. India US Trust Initiative. Earlier also we had similar concept. Was it trust means transferring strategic relationship utilizing strategic technology. Okay, transferring transferring strategic relationship utilizing strategic technology. Okay, so that is trust. Okay, so what is the purpose of trust? Because earlier also we had something very much similar to trust, that was known as ICET. Okay, we had during the Biden administration, we have something known as ICET initiative. Was it ICET initiative? So ICET means initiative on critical and emerging technology. For example, like AI will be there. So initiative on critical and emerging technology. Now since Trump has come, again this is also a similar concept only, but he has rebranded it as India US India Trust Initiative. Okay, so here we will be using this will be in collaboration. We will be doing collaboration with both the US as well as India, especially in the areas like artificial intelligence, quantum computing will be there, biotechnology will be there, in space exploration, and even other telecommunication as well as security areas also will be part of it. Okay, so this is India US Trust Initiative. Okay, another area is expansion of Indus X. Okay, Indus again, this is also something where we'll be collaborating, but here private sector is also considered. Okay, so here the partnership will be between the private sector as well as the public sector of both countries, whether it be US investing in India or whether it be India investing in US, Indian companies in US or US companies in India. Okay, so basically it's to drive the innovation. Again, here also mostly focusing on this electronics kind of area, semiconductors, aerospace, robotics, all these areas will be considering. Okay, and also US will be helping India developing its own supply chains for the semiconductors. Okay, the transfer of technology is also part of this particular initiative. Okay, all right, next one. Next one is, this is also a very important area, critical area of contention between US as well as India. Again, this is related to immigration and people to people ties. India now also, even after this Trump has come also, is related to immigration and all, many issues are happening. And also obviously, you know, Indian diaspora, something which is very much important in US has a lot of Indian diaspora. So that dimension also has to be addressed. Okay, all right, so first one, we have to address the illegal immigration from India to US. Okay, people going from India and as illegal immigrants to India. So again, India will be taking back its citizens living illegally. Will be bringing back Indians living illegally in US. So that was we have agreed upon that. Okay, but we have to verify that they are Indian citizens, and only will be taking that. That clause is there, and also US will be expanding the visa program. Okay, US will be expanding the visa. Again, in these areas also we have many issues like H1B visa and all will be there. But now again, this Trump has assured that they'll be creating new visa opportunities for the Indian students, even professional skilled workers. So that again they'll also be getting the technology and will also be getting the what people will be able to move there also. Okay, so new visa pathways will be there based on this particular India US visa program. Again, that's also very important area. Other than that, we have infrastructure and connectivity areas also. Okay, very important initiative is IMEC. Okay, India Middle East Europe corridor. India Middle East Europe corridor. Okay, India, Middle East, Europe. Again, this also covered in past DNAs and all. Maybe you can check that for comprehensive coverage. So again, here also US will work together to improve the trade routes. Why? Because these trade routes are very much important for US also, especially connecting the South Asia, Middle East, and Europe. Okay, so that will also be US will be helping in that areas also, and also regarding energy security, economic ties, even the 5G networks and 5G 6G, all these things are coming. So before that also US will be helping. Another one is investment in transport and smart infrastructure. US will be investing in India regarding transport as well as smart infrastructure. Okay, so that's also very much part of the smart cities will be coming. Renewable energy grids will be coming. Even advanced connection network, communication network like 6G technology, all the things. So basically, the modernization of infrastructure will be part of this particular what agreement. Okay, that is what going to happen. Okay, all right, next one again related to something which you have discussed, geopolitical implications and regional security. Which region? It is Indo-Pacific region. Okay, Indo-Pacific region. So again here geopolitical implication will be there. So both the US as well as India, they'll be aligning along with other countries. We have already discussed that initiative, that is Quad. Okay, we have discussed Quad, and again the other countries are Japan and Australia. So India, US, Japan, and Australia. So we'll be working together, especially to counter Chinese influence, especially to counter the Chinese influence in the particular region. Okay, so that's why we'll have to work together on this initiative. Okay, all right. Next one, managing US-China relations. That's also very much important. Trump again, Trump has issues with China, but still Trump is basically a business person only. So obviously he'll align wherever he can do better business. He will be aligned. So managing this US China relation. So that's also President Trump has suggested possible improvement in this US China relation. So that might affect India strategy also. So we'll have a balance between all these things. So that's also part of it. Okay. All right. Okay. So even though we have had many positive outcomes here, but still there are challenges are also ahead. One is related to the tariff and trade barriers. Even though we had some uh, I mean better we had some agreements, how we will be implementing it, that might be somewhat challenging. So India's high tariffs, that is actually a issue of contention between the US negotiators. Future US tariffs on Indian exports, that could also impact the trade expansion. So like that way, that is also an issue. Another one is bureaucratic delays, especially in this defense as well as the energy sector. So slow policy implementation, slow policy approvals, and even especially in this key defense procurements and all, that should be cleared as soon as possible. When especially in those new nuclear energy projects and also regulatory clearance will take some time, and also there are different tiers to go to get the approval. So that's all, that also has to be cleared as soon as possible. Okay. Okay, and balancing China relations, that's also will be an issue in the future. Why? Because India and China are not having any proper relation. So maybe Trump will be mostly focusing on the economic relation. Okay, so that might affect India relation. That's also another issue. So how they are balancing it, that's also something which you have to see. Another one is technology transfer and data security risk. Okay, so related to this technology transfer also, we have ITAR rules are there, especially in this technology transfer area in the defense sector. Okay, and also India cyber security is also having issue. So that we have to have an agreement on all these things, then only we'll be able to understand this. Okay, all right, so moving on to next topic. Next topic is related to the appointment of chief election commissioner. Okay, so the present chief election commissioner Rajiv Kumar, present chief election commissioner Rajiv Kumar, he will be retiring next week. I think February 18th he'll be retiring. So now we need a selection committee. A selection committee is needed, and that selection committee before his retirement on February 17th, that selection committee will be selecting his successor. Will be selecting his successor, and that will be under the provisions of this particular act. Chief Election Commission and other election commissioners appointment, conditions of service and term of office Act 2023. Okay, so based on this only they will be having a they will be selecting his successor. Okay, so what is the significance of this? This will be the first time. So you can see that this is 2023. Okay, so this act came in 2023. This will be the first time based on this particular act, new chief election commissioner will be appointed. Okay, so that's a key point here. Okay, all right. Significance from polity point of view, exam significance, polity point of view, constitutional bodies. Okay, previous year question, discuss the role of election commission of India in the light of the evolution of model code of conduct. Related to election commission, anything can be asked. Okay, all right. All right, so the law which regulates the appointment process, appointment conditions, retirement, tenure, everything related to both chief election commission as well as other election commissioners, that is based on this particular new act only, that is chief election commissioner and other election commissioners appointment, conditions of service and term of office act of 2003. Okay, so based on this act only, this election commissioners will be appointed also. Okay, so in this section 7.1, appointment was discussed in the section 7.1, section 7.1 of this particular act. Okay, so basically this act was this act establishes selection committee, selection committee. So this selection committee will be giving recommendation to the president, giving recommendation to the president, and president will only be appointing this people. Okay, so that's how the process goes. Okay, so who all will be part of the selection committee? One, it will be the prime minister. So he will be the chairperson. He will be the chairperson of this particular committee, and also we have leader of opposition, leader of opposition of Lok Sabha, leader of opposition of Lok Sabha. So what if the Lok Sabha is not having a proper leader of opposition? Then the leader of the largest opposition party, if the position is vacant, then he will be part of this particular committee. And also we have union cabinet minister. Okay, we have a union cabinet minister. He will be nominated by the prime minister. Okay, all right. So this is how the process. So this is actually selection committee. Okay, so they'll have a proper list of people. They'll have a proper list of people who should be who from whom they'll be deciding the chief election commission. So before that, there is actually search committee. The search committee will be there. So that will be headed by the law minister. That will be headed by the law minister. Okay, so law minister will be heading that search committee. So they will be preparing a list of 5 names. At least 5 names will be there. So after that, again it will be given to the selection committee. Selection committee will be finalizing a name and it will be given to the president. President formally appoint the chief election commissioner and the election commissioners. Okay, so this is how things are working. Okay, to understand this scenario, this particular scenario, we need little historical backdrop. So earlier this was not the process. Earlier there was a change in the process. So we understand what is actually the change, what was the original process and what is actually the present process. Okay, so before 2023, before this particular before this thing has came, Initially the president appointed the CEC and EC based on the advice of the union government itself. Okay, earlier this kind of committees and all was not there. Based on the recommendation of the union government, the president will be appointing the chief election commission. Okay, so this was actually happening earlier, before this 2023 this was actually happening. And obviously union government means it will be headed by the prime minister and other council of ministers will be there. What was the issue is this approach lacked the formalized selection process. Formalized selection process was lacking. So here the executive had full control over the selection process. Everything, the whatever, whoever the prime minister, maybe the government is recommending, they will be appointed by the president. So this is how things were going on. So problem was like, again it led to concerns about potential executive overreach. Executive overreach in this kind of constitutional body appointment. So what Supreme Court did is March 2023, Supreme Court intervened in this issue. Supreme Court intervened in this particular issue, March 2023. So they want to address these concerns. Supreme Court mandated the formation of a selection committee. A selection committee. That selection committee will be having prime minister. That selection will be having prime minister will be there. Leader of opposition will be there. Leader of opposition will also be there. So one from the ruling party, one from the opposition party will also be there. Okay, and also the Chief Justice of India, and also the Chief Justice of India, one person from the the top most post in the judiciary, he will also be part of this initiative. Okay, so that's what it was said. So this directed so this directive aimed to ensure a more balanced and even transparency in this appointment process. Okay, so here by this way the executive dominance can be avoided. But despite the Supreme Court's directive, the Parliament enacted this particular act which we have discussed in 2003, Chief Election Commission and other election commission appointment tenure, terms of conditions office. That act was enacted. Okay, so in that, a very important thing which they have missed is they didn't include this Chief Justice of India. Okay, instead they included the Union Home Minister. Included the Union Home Minister. Okay, so this was what the change which has been made. Okay, so here the problem is like the Supreme Court said something, you do this, but they already enacted something which is little different from what the Supreme Court's order. Okay, so this is actually a very important issue. All right, so this is the conflict between both the laws. One, Article 141, Article 141 of the Constitution. Okay, so Article 141 of the Constitution says that Supreme Court judgments in India should be followed by all the authorities. That is binding to all the authorities. So this was said in SC rulings are binding to all authority. Okay, so this is what Article 141 of the Constitution is saying. SC rulings are judgments are binding on all courts as well as authorities in India. And also another important case also there. This is Anup Baranwal case. Okay, so in this particular case only, Supreme Court directed the inclusion of CGI in the selection committee. Okay, so both of these were not considered while the the Parliament made the law. So this is the major issue here. The 2023 Act override both the Supreme Court judgment as well as this particular article of the Constitution. So this is a major issue there. Okay, in this the Parliament has overridden the court direction by excluding the CGI from the selection committee. So this is something which is raising whether the Parliament whether the Parliament can legislate in contradiction to the order given by something which is constitutional itself binding by the court. Okay, so this is a major issue we have. Okay, all right. So that is the issue. Moving on to next topic. Yeah, this is related to a statement by Vice President. So Vice President recently questioned the involvement of Chief Justice of India in the executive appointments, especially regarding the CBI selection of the CBI director. Okay, so we will be discussing what are this constitutional framework and which all areas the CJI is involved in this executive appointment. All those things will be discussing. Okay, all right. Again, this is also related to polity, organization function of executive and judiciary. Okay. All right. Previous year question in this case regarding Supreme Court judges only. Okay. What is actually the role of CJI? What is actually the role of judges and all? It is important. All right. So in India, in our constitutional framework, we have something known as separation of powers. Separation of powers is one of the fundamental principles governing the constitution. Okay. So these are the three branches of constitution. One is legislature, another one is executive, another one is judiciary. Legislature will be creating the laws, executive will be implementing the laws, judiciary will check that whether these laws are properly followed. This is how the process is going on. Okay. All right. So you all know what is this, what these sections are doing. Legislature means still parliament, executive means government, judiciary, the highest judiciary is Supreme Court of India. Okay. All right. We'll see what are the functions of the CJ. Now we know the Supreme Court, what the court will be doing, court will be upholding the constitution as well as will be checking whether the constitutional functions are properly done. Okay, what are the powers and functions of CJI? CJI is also involved in the some of the appointments. We'll see in this itself, but still not in any other executive appointment related to mostly uh, this court related appointments only. So he has been CJ administered the oath of office of President of India. Again, that's also related to executive. President consults CJ when appointing judges, but still that is related to judiciary only. CJ has authority to appoint ad hoc judges. Okay, under Article 127. Again, that's also under the court only. 128, he can appoint retired judges serving Supreme Court. Okay, similar to ad hoc judges. With present approval, CJ can change the Supreme Court location from Delhi to another place. Again, that's also something related to court only. He can also transfer judges to other courts. Again, these are the some of the other than making judgments and all, these are some of the powers which the CJ is having. Okay, Supreme Court judges, Chief Justice of India is having, but CJ is also part of some of the executive appointments or maybe the selection committees he is already part of. Okay, so these are the selection committees in which CJ is already part of. One is selection of the Director of Central Bureau of Investigation, that is CBI Director. Okay, CBI by selecting the CBI Director, he is also part of the selection committee. So other than him, Prime Minister will be there, leader of opposition of Lok Sabha, they are also part of this selection committee. Okay, all right. Another one is selection of Central Vigilance Commission. Another one is selection of Central Vigilance Commission. Here also he is part of the selection committee along with Prime Minister, Home Minister will be there. Even leader of opposition is also part of this. Okay. Other than that, he selection of National Human Rights Commission. National Human Rights Commission. Okay, here also he is part of the uh, uh, here also he is part of along with Prime Minister will be there. Okay, Prime Minister is also part of this selection committee, and also leader of opposition is also part of this committee. Okay, he is the judicial member while selecting the Chief Information Commission. Okay, Chief Information Commission. So that's also there. Another one we have already discussed. Okay, selection of the Chief Election Commission and election commissioners. Okay, here also he is a judicial member, but still there as per the SC order it is there, but still other than that it has not been confirmed. He is not formally part of the, as of now he is not formally part of the current selection, but according to the SC order of March 2023, he is part of the committee. Okay. All right. Now let's see what are the concerns raised by the vice president. Why the vice president said this is not proper way. This is not a proper way to CJ should not be part of these executive appointments. Okay. Recently, Jagdeep Dhankar and during his speech he has mentioned this. Okay. So one is legal and constitutional implications will be there. Legal and constitutional implication will be there. So he questioned how a judicial figure could participate in executive decision making. We have already discussed, we have executive, legislature and judiciary, everything is separate. Now this is like the part of person from judiciary is part of the executive decision making. So there is the line between the judiciary and executive, that is not there. As of now in India, we have legislature and executive. There is no proper line between legislature. Why? Because the prime minister is also part of legislature. He is also part of executive. So there is a line is very much blurred. But still, going to judiciary, it's completely separated from both these things. So that is a very thing which is against the separation of power philosophy of India. So he said this is actually a constitutional paradox where the executive governance is influenced by the judicial decree. That is not something which should be happening. And also, judiciary is public present. Judiciary is not something which should be publicly engaging outside the judgment. So they should not be influenced by the either should not be influenced by the public. They should only be following the Constitution of India. Okay, that can be a coordination, institutional coordination overreach of judiciary. So this is what Jagdeep Dhankar, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar has said regarding the this overreach of the involvement of CJ in the executive appointments. Okay, all right. Moving on to next article. Next article, again this is a very snippet only. So here we'll be dealing regarding what is the weaponization of this e-supply chain. Okay, so this is from a editorial from Hindu. Okay. All right. So context is in January 2024. January 2024, China restricted travel for its citizens and citizens employed as engineers and technicians in Foxconn's Indian facility. Okay, Foxconn is having an Indian facility. So this China has restricted the travel of these people. China said not to go. Okay, so this is actually having some international repercussion. Okay, so this basically disrupted the um, operational expertise, because these Chinese people have expertise in this. So if they are not available, means what will happen? Operational expertise is lost, especially in this high-tech manufacturing sector. So this is something which we can call it as a supply chain weaponization. Okay, supply chain weaponization. Okay. All right, so we'll see what is this supply chain weaponization. So weaponization of electronic supply chain involves using vulnerabilities in production, distribution, management of electronic components for malicious purpose. Okay, so weaponization of electronic supply chain involves using vulnerabilities in production, distribution, or management of electronic components. So the production supply chain, right? Supply chain means from the raw materials. We'll take the raw materials and take it to the production. We'll give it to the marketing and we'll reach the market. So this is a supply chain. So somewhere the supply chain is being influenced. So this here it is electronic only. So supply chain is being influenced. For example, here it is the people who are part of the production. They are from China. Okay. So China said not to go. These people not to go. So what will happen? It will be affecting this supply chain. So there China is actually using this people who are part of the production as a weapon, okay, against the other country. So this is something which is very much important. Okay, so this concept of weaponization is very much important. Okay, all right. Another one, China plus one strategy. China plus one strategy. Okay, so again this is also a business approach where companies primarily choose those heavily reliant on manufacturing China diversify their supply chains by adding an alternative country alongside China. Okay, for example, if India somehow heavily dependent on Chinese manufacturing, what will happen? China can do all these things. China can maybe say that, okay, this raw materials are not available, we are stopping the production, means what will India do? So again, this is something which we can relate to the critical minerals also. Okay, for example, critical minerals, what China will be doing, what is the possibility that China can do? China can say that we are running short of this critical mineral, so we won't be supplying this critical minerals to you. At that time, India's economy as well as the defense, maybe it will be affected. So these kind of issues can happen here also. That is why companies are opting for more outside this China. Okay, for example, they are opting for more countries where the similar manufacturing. India is also opting for more countries for this critical minerals. Okay, so that is known as mineral diplomacy. Okay, can be related to this. Okay, so that is China plus one strategy. All right. Moving on to so that's it regarding the four topics which you have taken. So moving on to the mains practice question. Modi-Trump summit of 2025 has set the stage for deeper US-India collaboration, various sectors, discuss the roadmap for future of this partnership and key areas where India must focus to maximize its benefit. Okay, all right. So, what is asked here? It is a general statement only. Okay, it's not related to any particular sector. It's not related to defense alone. It's not related to trailer and not related to any geopolitics alone. So here we can write regarding everything, various sectors we can bring in this particular thing. So how to approach this? We can briefly introduce what is the importance of India-US relation and related to what is the present development, that is Trump has come, when in India Modi has come. So again there earlier we had a collaboration during Trump and Modi's period. So now again what are the differences? So like that way you can give an introduction. Key areas of cooperation we have already discussed, like technologies, new technologies like AI and all these things is there. Strategic areas is there. So like that way you can give a brief introduction. Okay, after that the body you can write strengthening defense and strategic security. So what all things are we have bought, like this helicopters, this missile technology, all these things have been there. So that you can bring in there, and also strategic relations like Quad, Indo-Pacific regions, that also we can bring in, and also expanding economic and trade relations. We can bring in the mission 500. Okay, doubling the what doubling the that economic ties to 500 billion. Okay, by 2030. Okay, so that you can add here, and energy security and critical mineral cooperation. Okay, like rare earth minerals and all. In that China will be, sorry, US and India will be cooperating further. Like that we can make an answer. Okay. Other one again, technological relation like AI, space exploration, semiconductors, even this Index X project we can bring in. Like that projects also you can bring in. Trust project we can bring in here. Okay. Improving infrastructure and connectivity, IMEC, how US will be cooperating in IMEC, that you can write. And other than that, geopolitical and strategic challenges, Quad, like that we can mention. Finally, you can conclude it by how India can benefit and how US can benefit, why this cooperation is needed from all this purpose. So like that we can make an answer. Okay. All right. Next one, prelims practice question. Prelims practice question. So yeah, India-Myanmar borders. Consider the following statement regarding India-Myanmar border. So this is actually the prelims practice questions of yesterday's DNA. Okay, today's DNA's prelims practice questions will be discussed on Monday. Okay, all right. So consider the following statements regarding India-Myanmar border. India-Myanmar border is shared by states of Arunachal, Nagaland, Meghalaya, Mizoram. Okay, here Meghalaya is not there, other states are there. BSF is responsible for guarding India-Myanmar border. BSF has nothing to do with India-Myanmar border. It is guarded by Assam Rifles. Okay. So here you can see that both the statements are wrong. BSF is guarding the Bangladesh as well as Pakistan border. This is wrong. Why? Because Meghalaya is wrong. This is wrong. Why? Because BSF is wrong. It is Assam Rifles. Okay. So correct answer is neither one nor two. Neither one nor two. Next one. Which of the following has been a major concern in India-US relation regarding immigration? Denial of green cards to Indian students, not much. Deportation of Indian citizens, not much. Restriction on direct flights on US. Sorry, restriction on direct flights on US. Ban on H1B visa application. Correct answer is B. Deportation of Indian citizen. That was a major issue. Now, okay, news and all, it was there. Next one. Consider the statements regarding China's mega dam. Okay, which of the following statements are correct? It is being constructed on Yarlung Zangpo River, which is known as Brahmaputra River in India. Okay, the dam is located in Medong County, Tibet, near the point where river takes U-turn into Arunachal Pradesh, India. Okay, recently many things regarding this China's dam were in the news. Why? Because China is constructing a dam and it is having both geopolitical as well as other strategic issues are also there. Okay, so first one is correct. This is Yarlung Zangpo Dam only. Yarlung Zangpo River only. It is Brahmaputra in India. Okay. Second one, this area is also correct. So there, it will be taking a U-turn to enter Arunachal Pradesh in India. Okay. All right. So that's regarding. So correct answer will be both are correct. First one is correct. First statement is correct. Second statement is correct. So both 1 and 2 they are correct. Alright, so these are the prelims practice questions of today's daily news analysis. So this we will be discussing on Monday, but you will get these questions in our website navigator.narayanias.com. Okay, so you can, the link will be posted in the comment box. You can click on that link and you can go to the website, and there you will be able to solve these questions. Okay, all right. So we have 3 questions related to that. Okay, the 2 prelims questions related to today's daily news analysis. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you.